A digital audio workstation, or DAW for short, is an electronic workspace for creating music. A producer uses a DAW to make music in a way that's similar to a painter creating art on a canvas. The producer is the painter, the sounds are the paint, and the DAW is sort of the canvas and the brush at the same time. There are a lot of DAWs out there, from free to freemium web-based DAWs to ones that work on Mac and Windows to DAWs that work on tablets and even smartphones. The DAW is the centerpiece for music production. And as cool as it is to have all the hardware, this piece of software is all you need to create music. So, how does it work? In a nutshell, the DAW allows you to arrange and shape sounds in a timeline. Sounds come in different sizes, from small bits of audio like kicks and snares to pre-made loops to full-length recorded vocals. You can cut, copy, and paste to shape sounds into loops, and take loops and form them into full songs. DAWs come with built-in instruments. With these virtual instruments, you can make melodies, chords, and beats note by note by arranging these notes in your timeline. This is also known as sequencing. DAWs also come with effects that allow you to shape sounds with even more detail and in ways that aren't possible by cutting, copying, and pasting. For example, you can use equalizers, or EQ, to cut or boost individual frequencies of sounds. You can use reverb to create the illusion of space and depth. You can even automate these controls over time to create new sounds and even new rhythms. This is how a DAW allows you to create music, not by necessarily having to perform any part of your music perfectly, but by allowing you to arrange sounds, assess the result, make adjustments, and eventually export your work into a single audio file that you can share with the listener. My choice of DAW, and the one that I teach here at my school, Mix Major in Herndon, Virginia, is Ableton Live. It's heavily used in the electronic dance music industry by producers and artists such as Skrillex, Deadmau5, and Daft Punk, and even in the pop world by artists like Ed Sheeran. Personally, as a producer and a performer, I've been using Ableton Live since 2006. Here's why. On the production side, Ableton comes with everything you need. You can produce in a linear fashion, just like any other DAW, like Garageband, Logic, or FL Studio. The interface, features, and workflow are very intuitive, and even the lowest price versions include built-in instruments, effects, and even sound banks to begin producing music. You can make beats, write and compose chords and melodies, record audio, and mix and master all in Ableton Live. I'll make sure to cover Ableton's features in more detail in the next video, but here are a couple of unique features that stand out with Ableton Live. First, the browser makes it very easy to organize and find your instruments and sounds. It even has an interactive help window, so just hover over something and it will tell you what it is and how it works. This is a great feature for your students to use in the classroom. Along with its unique warping features, which I'll cover in future videos, effects racks, and infinite routing capabilities, Ableton is an incredibly powerful tool for sound design. And with its unique session view, Ableton makes it easy to quickly sketch and try out musical ideas before putting them into a traditional linear timeline. I said before, you don't need external hardware to create music, but Ableton does integrate natively with controllers like launchpads, the Ableton Push, both 1 and 2, and keyboard controllers with direct control over Ableton's main features. Here's a short example of a remix I made of Lewis Capaldi's Someone You Loved using Ableton Live version 10.
I was getting kinda used to being someone you love.
you'd like to check out the rest of the remix and see it in the Ableton timeline, you can check out the link in the description of this video. In addition to being a powerful DAW for music production, that's for creating music, it's also a powerful tool for performing music, hence the word live. For example, using Ableton's session view, you can launch and even record loops. You can trigger single samples and mix them individually on the fly to create a live performance. You see many of these types of performances on YouTube using the Novation Launchpad. All of those performances are done using Ableton Live. You can route your microphone into Ableton's built-in vocal effects and use it like an effect rack in a live environment. You can even turn your voice into an instrument using the built-in vocoder. You can even turn Ableton into a live looping station. This is how Ed Sheeran uses Ableton for his live shows, and it's the feature that I originally bought Ableton for back in 2006 when I first began experimenting with combining traditional music performance on keyboards with DJing, turntablism, live sample triggering, and live looping to create music. I call this my live remix project, and it's what led to my success in the performance world, including touring with Madonna in 2008 and 2009. So Ableton comes in 4 versions with different degrees of features, instruments, effects, and included sound packs. They offer really good discounts for teachers and students on their standard and suite versions, so make sure to check those out at the link in the description. For the purposes of these tutorials, I'll be using the Suite version, but I'm sure that many of you watching may not have access to Suite. Maybe you're using the intro version, so I'll make sure to keep most of those lessons geared toward the intro or standard versions.